Traders, and welcome to another video review. Today is Friday, the last day of the August 2024. Let's find out what's going on the economic calendar today. We got some data releases over the Asian session, so let's just go through it. Building consensus in New Zealand increased from -17% to 26.2%. Plenty of data from Japan in form of the industrial production, worse than expected, 3.6% with 2.8 actual number. Retail sales worse than expected, 2.8% with the actual number of 2.6%. Tokyo Core CPI beats the expectations of 2.2% with the actual number of 2.4%, and jobs application ratio is 1.24, just above the expectations of 1 to 23. Private sector credit in Australia in line with the expectations of 0.5%, and retail sales drops from 0.5% below 0.3% towards 0%. We are still waiting for the other data for today, mainly from the Eurozone, so the London session should be quite busy. Nationwide HPI from the UK is scheduled for release at 8 o'clock, together with the German retail sales data and the French data, French GDP, consumer spending, and ICP. Coffee leading indicator from Switzerland is scheduled for release at 9 o'clock. 5 minutes later, ECB Schnabel will give a speech. German unemployment rate is scheduled for release at 5 to 10, and as you can see, the unemployment rate should stay at the same level of 6%. Italian CPI data scheduled for release at 11 o'clock, and at 11 o'clock we got the rest of the data from the Eurozone. CPI, which is expected to decrease from 2.6% to 2.2%. Unemployment rate, that should stay at the same level of 6.5%. Core PCI, that should stay at 2.8%, and the CPI data. Please notice at the noon the Eurogroup meeting starts, and then of course we enter slowly the US session. During the US session we got the core PCE price index and the PCE index together with the personal spending. All of this data are scheduled for release at 2:30, together with the data from the Canada. GDP, an annualized GDP from Canada is scheduled for release at 2:30 as well. Chicago PMI is scheduled for release at 3:45, and at 4 o'clock we got the Michigan inflation expectations, consumer sentiment, and consumer expectations data. All of this data is scheduled for release at 4 o'clock. ECB Supervisory Board member Jochnik will give a speech at 4 o'clock as well. And then we got Atlanta Fed GDP now at 4:30. US Barker Hughes oil rig count and total rig count for all of you crude oil traders is scheduled for release at 7 o'clock, and the rest are speculative net positions release. So very, very busy London and New York session, or European and US session, so please be focused and expect increased volatility during the data release. Let's start with the technical part, and we are going to talk about the euro dollar first. Euro dollar 4-hour chart is showing us further deterioration below 1.11 and the local low made at 1.1056, just as expected. 200 periods moving average is being tested right now, and the pin bar candle was made at the bottom of the move. Let's adjust the levels. We got the 1.11 broken, so now it will act as a technical resistance for the price, and we need to take a look at this situation here. It looks like the deterioration lower is in 5 waves. We can apply Elliott wave impulsive pattern. We got the wave 1 here, wave 2 here, possibly wave 3 has been made here, wave 4 and wave 5 has been completed at the level of 1.1056. This is impulsive wave to the downside, which means that the new cycle to the downside might have been started, and what we want to take a look at is the price range, because we want to see how deep is this this movement to the downside. Is minus 1.30. So this movement to the downside is already the bigger one in all of these corrections that took place from the swing from the lows of 1.0782. So this is the overbalance of price and time, the biggest correction during the upswings, which means that this is not a part of this movement to the upside. It looks like this is completely new cycle, and it might deteriorate even further to the downside. Of course, we got another technical support. Another technical support is located right now at the level of 1.1049, and the other one is located at the level of 1.1009. Nevertheless, the outlook for the euro dollar remains bearish because of the very, very low, very, very weak sentiment and then negative momentum on the RSI indicator. We got some data from the UK. Let's find out what the British pound is doing. So British pound has made a local high and a swing high at the level of 1.3265. So this is the swing high. We can mark it here. Okay, let's change the color to red so we know that this is technical resistance. We broke below 50 periods moving average, and we tested the technical support at 1.3144, and the momentum broke below the level of 50, and now it's even trading below the level of 50. So what we should do now is to wait whether this situation here is only a temporary pullback to the downside, or maybe there will be something more from it. For now, it looks like we made at least minus 0.93%. So this is the biggest correction during this whole up move, because the last one was only minus 0.57. So this movement to the upside might have been completed if we apply the trend line here from the lows to the highs. This is the weak trend line because it has only one point of a support. Let me just make it thicker. Yeah, there you go. This is only 1 point of the support. Any breakout below the trend line will be obviously bearish and might indicate a further development to the downside. As you can see, finally we are doing some sort of the correction or some sort of the pullback to the downside, as this movement here was very, very stretched. Okay, so the British pound found a support on the level of 1.3144. Possibly it will break to the downside after data is published. Because of the Japanese data, let's take a look at the Japanese yen, and this time at Japanese yen we can see a small consolidation towards the level of 145.45. So this is of course the technical resistance, and which is now being tested. A, B, C. Maybe I will just put my Elliott wave here to the upside. Some sort of the correction was made from the lows of 143.48, possibly in a form of the ABC. But please remember that we might have the connector here, right inside of this movement, and then we might have another ABC correction, for example. So that would be of course the more complex and time-consuming correction, so WXY, for example. So just because it is ABC correction doesn't mean the correction has been completed. We got some bearish engulfing or piercing pattern here at the top of the move, but we didn't broke below the level of let's say wave below at 143.70, or we didn't even tested the 50 periods moving average at 144.28. So it's still something that we need to work on in order to be in line with our bigger time frame Elliott wave curve. Let me just take a look here. 5 waves down must be done. It looks like this is the wave 4 of the overall movement to the downside, and some kind of maybe a spike to the downside is done, and then 5 wave cycle is done on the US dollar to the Japanese yen. And last but not least, of course, let's take a look at the Bitcoin. Unfortunately, the Bitcoin again deteriorates lower. It was rejected from the 100 periods moving average on the 4-hour chart. Very big pin bar here has been made. Looks like the like the shooting star or even some kind of a gravestone doji, almost like a gravestone doji. There's a confirmation and there's extension to the downside. Currently the low was made at 58,773, so we are definitely going towards the level of 57,800, 57,848, where is the next technical support. And for now only this trend line here is preventing the bears to move even lower. So this movement to the upside is unfortunately in only 3 waves. So it looks like the ABC correction to the upside made again on the Bitcoin. So it's not impulsive movement to the upside whatsoever. We got the double top on the on this level here. So overall it looks like this. Possibly the basic ABC correction has been completed. We got some sort of the triangle here, and then possibly we went up towards this level, some triangle, maybe not, but I will go to the extremes. Looks like the ABC, maybe some other, let's say, corrective pattern. Anyway, it's definitely in 3 waves. If you can take a look at this, and it can be seen straight on 3 waves to the upside, and then very aggressive movement to the downside. So it looks like this is the wave 1. Let me just make again Elliott impulsive wave. It looks like this is the wave 1, which is quite big. ABC to the upside. This is the wave 2. We are waiting for the wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5 to develop, breaking the lows of $50,000 and even 49,561. So that's the outlook for the Bitcoin, basically to the downside. Maybe it will unfold during the weekend. That's everything from me for today. Thank you very much for watching this analysis, and I hope I see you guys next time. Take care and bye bye.